hear the Wayne Allen Root Show?
For once, Reuters done some actual journalism on Hunter Biden. Hunter never actually worked in Ukraine, but he worked for Burisma, making $50,000 a month.
Then you are home. The Valley's news talk and podcasts. Talk Central, Phoenix.
And now, back to more of the Chips and Salsa Show.
Which of the Latin countries are you from? The one with the Civil War, the one with the cocaine, or the one with the fancy hats?
We are back with the Chips and Salsa Show, the Tuesday edition. We're here every Tuesday at 4 p.m. I'm Alice Lara. My partner in radio crime, Don Jorge, is not here today. He'll be back next week. In fact, he'll be back on Thursday. Tune in at 4 p.m. for La Voz de la Comunidad, powered by the Lozada team, and also Security National Mortgage. So now we get to the wonderful part of our show. Let me tell you about 40 Days for Life. If this is the first time you've listened to our show, or maybe you just don't know about this organization, but you really need to. You really should. And this is a wonderful little brochure I'm going to cheat and read from. 40 Days for Life is an internationally coordinated 40-day campaign that aims to end abortion locally through prayer and fasting, community outreach, and a peaceful all-day vigil in front of abortion businesses. And that's a very good description of it and what it is. And I've been a part of it, and I'm so happy and honored that we know Nancy Brady, and also with us today, Ellen Sweeney, and she is co-leader of 40 Days for Life Phoenix. And thank you so much for coming in today, Ellen.
Oh, glad to be here.
Why don't you start and take a couple minutes first and introduce yourself to the audience? You and I go back and we remember 1973, and we both actually have Bachelor of Social Work degrees.
Right.
But tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, when Roe v. Wade was passed, I was a freshman in high school, and I just still remember the shock of it, that this is now legal in the United States, essentially killing a child for no reason or any reason, under the definition that the Supreme Court gave of a woman's right to privacy. I mean, a husband could legally kill his wife under that definition. So it was just so wide open, and I was only, like I said, 14. I was so shocked and stunned, and I just said, I got to do something.
I want to stop you for just a second because you and I are about the same age.
Right.
But there were a lot of little 14-year-olds. Planned Parenthood came into our child development class and made us feel so sorry for these women because it brought in the coat hanger and thing. But you didn't. You were more mature, I think, and ahead of the game, and didn't fall for that.
I was also protected because I had 12 years of Catholic education. And I think that's probably the difference. Are there people that are always going to have unintended pregnancy? Yes. But through sympathy for them, you do not destroy an innocent child that is made in the image and likeness of God and has been willed by Him for all eternity. And that's part of what we do with 40 Days. We offer resources locally. A lot of times people say, it's a freedom of choice, but how can you make a choice if you don't know what your options are? We tell them if you have issues, whatever it is, we can meet them. You need medical care, we have doctors that will care for you. You need housing, whatever it is you need, we will assist you. And then they're free to make an actual choice because they're being pressured into it many times. Not their fault, they just don't know that help is available. Pro-life clinics, pregnancy centers outnumber abortions 5-1. But you'd never hear that anywhere else.
You never hear that.
You never hear that stat. And my favorite thing is when they tell me, we're just doing this to help women, and then they ask me what I do, and I say, well, I'm a social worker. They just can't believe it. Yes, Virginia, there are pro-life social workers. Not very many, but there is one here.
How dare you do that?
Right.
Wow. And a lot of people don't know that. You're absolutely right. And that's one of the first things when I remember I have a friend who kind of has divorced me as a friend for some of my views and said, well, you guys, you just don't do anything to help the mother. You don't care about the child. And you've just disproven that.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah. No, we walk the talk. We don't just say it. We do it. Just 2 days into our campaign, we had a turnaround where The mother was taken to the clinic because of COVID. They won't allow the boyfriend / father, whatever the relationship is, to stay in the clinic. They come out and talk to us. And after we spoke to him about our help that we could give, he went up and got her out of the clinic, and they left. And they went to Life Choices, where they got a free ultrasound.
Another great organization. We've talked to them.
The difference is that when they do an ultrasound in the abortion clinic, they're doing it to age the child, so they know what to charge them, but they don't show it to the parents or to the mother.
And that's legal? They can perfectly.
Well, they're required to do an ultrasound, but a lot of times they won't show it to them. Or if they show them the screen at all, they shoot it from the back, and you see the Korean, the covering. You don't see the development. And as we know, the development's there.
That's pretty sneaky.
Yeah, this is up to 24 weeks in Arizona that abortion is legal. So some of those babies, it essentially has crossed the line to infanticide. But like I said, the help is there. All they need to do is ask, tell us what they need. And often they can't ask because they don't know we have it. But, they always say you're not pro-life. You're, what do they call you? Pro-baby. You're pro-birth.
Pro-birth.
And my answer to that is, well, somebody that looks a heck of a lot like me spends my days helping people that are already born.
Yeah.
So.
Now, when did Unplanned come out? It's been already out a couple years, right?
I want to say about 3 years.
3 years ago?
Yeah.
And I always, from time to time, urge our audience, but if you have not seen that movie, no matter you're pro-life or not, please see the movie Unplanned. It's a true story,
Right.
and they've done a great job with it. It's
Right.
not done like just a documentary. It's like a real movie. I think they did such a perfect job
Right.
with that movie.
Yeah, and it was pivotal because it tells the story of Abby Johnson, who was the youngest director for Planned Parenthood. In fact, she got the national award for the Director of the Year. And her clinic in Texas was the first 40 Days for Life event ever. And they honestly did not intend it to be more than one. They just had prayed about their local abortion numbers, and they prayed around a table, and the number that kept coming to them was 40 days, a very biblical number. And that's what they decided to do, to have and they're gutsy, they do 24-hour vigils.
Wow.
We do 12.
Wow.
40-day continuous peaceful prayer, being on site, fasting, community outreach, and essentially they call it the beginning of the end of abortion where you live. And that's why it's become so wildly successful, because it is local, and it's also of God, because that one campaign has now blossomed into 8,028 campaigns in 63 countries.
That is fantastic.
That is of God. We could not have done that. It's His work. We just show up and do it.
And I've told our audience, I've actually gotten to go to one of these, and you guys do a fabulous job. It's not. It's very. You have to experience it, the energy, and go there. And I saw some team members. The other side showed up, obviously.
Which doesn't always
probably still
happen.
show up. It doesn't always happen.
In Phoenix, it happens rarely.
Is that
But
right?
I think that may be because we're not affiliated with Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood tends to draw, like a lightning charge, the opposition.
Well, when I went, I remember. I think it was in Tempe.
Right.
And the other side showed up. But you guys do such a great job with talking to them and presenting your side. It was not contentious. It was just exchanging information.
Right.
And you pray. You don't have to be Catholic.
No.
You can still be there and pray, or not pray, just be there and offer support. And I was just so impressed with everything. I encourage you, if you can, or maybe if you can't, maybe you can't do that, or you work, or something physically is keeping you from. Tell people about 40 Days for Life. Contact them and see, maybe you can show up for 1 hour. Maybe you can show up for 2 hours. Maybe you can write a check or help them. It's such a wonderful, worthy cause. I can't salute you enough.
I used to go before work. I used to go from 6 to 7, and then I would go off to work. So we do have people that work.
It's a great way to start the day.
Exactly. And in Arizona, besides the Phoenix site, we have Phoenix, Tempe, Glendale. Tempe and Glendale are both Planned Parenthoods. There's also a campaign in Flagstaff and in Tucson. So there are 5 in the state.
Wow.
And I believe we are the only site, which is Family Planning Associates, that is not affiliated with Planned Parenthood.
So how is the campaign going right now?
It's actually going very well. We're currently in the Lenten campaign that began on February 17th and it ends on March 28th. And so far, throughout all the local campaigns, overall, they have saved 101 babies. And we always have to put a little asterisk on that to say that we know of, because we get very many people that will pull up, and you can kind of tell they have kind of a look about them, and especially on Saturday when nobody else is open, and they look at us, and sometimes they just pull in, back out, and leave. Now, do they come back? We don't know. True. But very many times they leave, and in many campaigns, they don't even find out what babies they saved. And every once in a while, somebody will come by a campaign with a baby and say, I came to abort my baby, but you were here.
Oh, that's a terrific story.
Yeah.
I love that. And who knows, what you're affecting. Like you see, somebody might be driving by,
right,
and they see you, and then they go back home and they think about it and make a change. George, I think he's got his own story to tell. And there's so many people. In fact, I was telling you earlier about another guest we've had, Hilda Villaverde. Mm-hmm. And she came on and has told her story about when she was younger, she was pregnant, and they wanted her to get rid of the baby because she had cervical cancer, but she didn't. And now her son is like in his 50s, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful story. And it just, there's a lot of them out there that we don't even know about it. Right. Another one of them, I'm just going to mention this because of our audience, Jeff Prather, who is the Prather Point, gives a lot of good information. He, I believe that he was a birth of rape, so he was given up, and the nuns raised him. In fact, Catholic nuns raised him. And that man is just, he was a fast and furious whistleblower. I mean, if you go back and you think, what if these guys, with their lives was never saved?
Right.
It's
Well, these
amazing.
are people that God intended and God willed into existence and planned for all eternity. And you're essentially just not allowing God to be God. Now, can they have an unintended and unwanted pregnancy? Yes. But it doesn't translate into unwanted children because there's so many people that just have infertility issues, are waiting to adopt, are so desperate they'll do surrogates, IVF, all this stuff. And even with all of that, they're not guaranteed. Mm-hmm. And that's why I got into social work, was adoption. But by the time I got out of school, they had already had Roe v. Wade, and there were adoptions, but not nearly as many.
So you were saying in Arizona, abortion can take place up to 24 weeks?
24 weeks.
And if you can't discuss, because I know the political things, is that being, is there some legislation attempting to change that? Can you discuss that?
Well, there has been in the past. I don't know of any currently, but there have been some that talk about the heartbeat bills. There's also been ones that deal with pain. The heartbeat bill would, a heartbeat begins in the unborn 18 to 21 days after conception. Wow. Very many times the women don't even know they're pregnant yet. So if they were ever to pass that, that would impact. And the situation with Roe v. Wade is it has given every state their own jurisdiction to determine what happens. And we're very fortunate in Arizona. More than once we've been voted the most pro-life state.
Good for us.
I kind of wonder how Texas isn't number one, but I'm not going to argue with the selection committee. But, we're always an election away from losing that.
Right.
And that's what people need to know.
Absolutely.
So get involved on the other side. We can't really do politics with 40 days, but we can urge people to be good citizens and, make sure your beliefs are heard.
And information is very critical. Okay, we're coming up on another break here.
Okay.
And we come back, we can talk a little bit more about that. I want to thank our audience for tuning in. Please, while we're taking a break and you're getting your cup of coffee, whatever, if you're on Facebook, share this show. It's just really a lot of good information with my good friend Ellen Sweeney with 40 Days for Life. She's the co-leader. And this is a national organization, so if you're watching us from another state, check it out there. But we'll be right back with more of the Chips and Salsa Show, and we're going to talk more about 40 Days for Life Phoenix, and you will not be disappointed. So don't go away, Chipsters. We'll be right back.
The Valley's home for podcasts, Talk Central Phoenix. Get the app on iTunes or Google Play.
I'm Alice Lara here with
Don Jorge.
We want to introduce you to a brand new show. It's the Chips and Salsa Show, La Voz
de la Comunidad.
Powered by the Lozada team.
And I'm Cristina Lozada, your trustworthy realtor. If you need to buy or sell, you can always count with the professionals of Lozada team.
And Security National Mortgage, we're here for the Lozada team for your purchase and refinance needs.
So join us every Thursday at 4 p.m. It's the Chips and Salsa Show, powered by the Lozada team. It's La Voz
de la Comunidad.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So Mommy's going to teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rubber goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it?